Greetings, this is the Timeshare Traveler. Today is episode 287. Before you buy another timeshare, I want to walk through the way I evaluate whether I need to buy another one or not, or whether I'm happy where I am. So it's really maximize what you have. That's really my overview, which is remind yourself the cost of another timeshare. Start with that so you know what you're getting into. And then ask yourself the question, have you maximized your alternative booking methods first? So have you actually maximized everything else before you actually spend the additional money? Also be clear about what the benefit, why you want to do this. Hopefully that's that should be the easy part. But and then deciding on the best alternative once you if you do pass that hurdle and say, I know the costs, I maximize everything, and I know what the benefit is, I want to do this, then I'll go through what you can do. All right, let me jump right in and remind you about the costs to have a timeshare. I find it's always good to remind yourself what you're getting into, even remind yourself where you are, to make sure you're still doing the right thing. Purchase costs. A timeshare purchase cost could be 20, could be 30, could be 40K. Even if you do a resale, it's typically 7, 8, or 9K. You can obviously do things cheaper, but there's trade-offs. That thing to remember, as soon as you sign off and buy the timeshare, basically you've depreciated it down to the resale value. So, you want to know how many years am I going to be able to use this timeshare, make sure you're going to get the return on investment, or if you're just, this is a luxury and you want it. As long you can override any of these thoughts, but I try to be more methodical and more based on the value I see. Maintenance fees. Remind yourself, maintenance fees are typically between $1,000 and $2,500 per year. You pay maintenance fees even if you don't use them, and maintenance fees go up, 4 to 5%, sometimes more, but on average 4 to 5%, and that's going to go on as long as you own the timeshares. And then the last thing to do is, what alternative purchases are you foregoing in order to do the timeshare? Is that the best purchase for you? Again, these are all things I just try to remind myself so that I go, yep, or no, and then I know not to buy. The other one I like to do, and this is one I focused on the last year or two, actually the last 5 years, maximize alternative booking methods. I've just gotten better over the last 5 years. Have you evaluated all the alternative booking methods? Take time to learn International, RCI, Grand Pacific Exchange, and others, whatever you have access to. Take the time to learn that. See if there's some other better way to do that. What can you book for cash, or cash plus a little bit of points to keep costs below maintenance fees? I'm always looking at the alternative is, this is my maintenance fees, this is the cost to stay for a week, but what are my alternatives that I can lower that cost? Have you evaluated off-peak travel? I mean, do you really need, maybe your kids finally grew up and you're like, oh, wait a minute, we don't have to go there in the summer. We could go there in September when the points are less and we can get a lot further. Are you leveraging marketing stays? You're going to be, if you're into timeshares, you're going to be doing sales presentation. You might as well have it a discounted marketing stay when you're doing it. Are you looking at the specials? Often there are discounted stays that are available. Have you used the marketing stay to offset that? Are the cash-only options that don't require you to use points and incur the purchase costs? So have you done all that? For example, just the last 2 years, I want to highlight that. In 2024, I used over 120 free hotel nights. That was not sustainable. I didn't have enough free night points to keep doing that. Maybe I could have done it through 2025, but I needed another alternative. So I myself pushed hard to figure out different ways to use the exchanges. And in 2025, I'm using the exchanges to book 33 weeks with cash only, and another 10 weeks leveraging points in cash. So I actually do what I say. I actually figured out ways to do that, and that was a way to extend. And I don't know that I need to buy anymore. In fact, I probably don't. And that's kind of what I've come to the conclusion, that I'm set. If I can do it all year, and I can do these exchanges to fulfill below my maintenance fees, why not just do that? Every upgrade I've done, I have had a benefit that I really wanted, and I'm very specific. Ability to stay longer at your favorite location. That was one of the reasons. The next level perks will be very valuable and meet your travel goals. I've had a great time with the perks, both mostly at Hilton and Worldmark, where I don't have to pay cleaning fees anymore because of the level I'm at, and then in Hilton I have free upgrades, and so I get more luxurious stays for no additional cost. So that was worth a lot to me. Um, um, so there were new locations. I joined HGV Max, which was a great plan for me because it worked out really well. Gain access to an exchange. Oh my God! If I had not figured out GPX, it has resulted in 33 weeks for below what my cost to stay in my condo is. And then there's other factors that aren't necessarily dollar benefits. It's like, oh, having that extra timeshare means that every year or so I can have my adult kids join me, and then maybe even the grandkids, and then create a family vacation where with the points you currently have, you won't quite be able to do that. So that's an interesting way to really expand things and something that happens over time. Another thing is you can lock in your favorite Christmas location every year. Kind of create it if you have a family Christmas sort of constant thing that you do every year. That's kind of cool. Anyway, so just be clear about what the benefits are, because you've looked at the cost and you want to make sure you know what the benefits. And it's always good to just, before you're in the middle of a timeshare presentation, think about it then. So that's why I recommend that. And then the other thing, which I had a separate video on, is deciding whether to additional timeshare or more of the same. Buy with the existing timeshare, leverage what you already own and know, and more of what you enjoy. That's always a good choice because you're comfortable with it. There wouldn't be once you realize you got the benefits and you understand the cost, you already got to the point where that's good. So that's actually a no-brainer. Sometimes you go to another timeshare company, and that's what I initially did because I was trying to cover all the Hawaii islands, and I had to get 2 different timeshare companies to do that. But again, you also gained access to a much larger number of locations, and you can balance the perks of 2 different companies, and again, specific locations that you really like on your bucket list that aren't available in your current timeshare. You love your current timeshare, but if you buy this other one, you end up with all the locations you've been wanting to have. And again, I own 3 timeshares. I leverage all the exchanges and so many locations. I can do driving vacations, longer stays, etc. I was looking at the alternative of an RV versus a timeshare, so I wanted to be able to live full time. And I chose timeshares because I just like the quality, and I don't really want to be an RV mechanic, and that's what at some point what you may have to be. So that was kind of the bottom line choice for me. But anyway, hope you like this video. Don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and I'll tell you a little bit about my channel for those of you who don't know much about it. Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm the Timeshare Traveler. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of my channel is to educate those who love traveling in timeshares. I've been an owner for 15 plus years at timeshare ownership. I have elite ownership with Marriott, Hilton, and Worldmark. I have published over 100 timeshare video reviews, and I've published over 95 timeshare tips. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, at Twitter Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com.